Hello, Matthew Bell with AlzheimersProof.com, and today I wanted to talk about a little bit of an arcane subject, and it is a protein injection, and it's referred to as IL-33. Now let me just remind you that AlzheimersProof.com is a project whereby I am attempting two different things in the main. The first one is to help you to understand the different changes that can be made, modifications to a home environment in order to help and assist a caregiver to provide support and to keep safe a person who's in their charge in a home environment. So it's basically home modifications, like baby proofing or child proofing a house. The second sense of Alzheimer's proofing is going to be those changes that you might make to your lifestyle or to your diet in order to improve your chances of avoiding Alzheimer's disease. But one of the corollaries of this project is that I've found it necessary sometimes to dive into somewhat arcane information in order to provide access to some of the cutting-edge research that might be relevant to some of these Alzheimer's proofing lifestyle hacks. Now, along these lines, I have a number of things. Some of these just fall into a category of providing information. So think of these as research leads. I am not a medical researcher. I am not a medical professional. I cannot give you advice about treatment. I can't diagnose any condition. I speak a little bit more about the different facets of this in several of the other videos that I have. One of them is on the scope of the project. Another one that I'll put a link in the description is going to be on 10 free resources that are available to families to help them to navigate through the maze of Alzheimer's disease. And in that video, several of the supports and several of the free resources revolve around providing families with further information, because information can help you in your caregiving efforts, and it can also help you if you yourself are afflicted with Alzheimer's to sort of know what might be on the horizon. But some information is fairly arcane, and once again, I would consider this some of the cutting edge, at least that's percolated down to the popular level. So there may be, and probably are, any number of other research projects at high levels in research institutions that we know nothing about at this point in time. But for one of the research leads that I ran across that I became aware of is about a protein that is called Interleukin-33, or IL-33 for short. Now I'm specifically referencing a BBC article that is one of the news outlets in the United Kingdom. And this protein has been associated, this IL-33 has been associated with other autoimmune or inflammatory sorts of conditions. So for example, allergies, asthma, hay fever, and endometriosis, which is, of course, a uterine condition, so a female condition that is often associated with infertility. It's also associated with irritable bowel syndrome or with inflammatory bowel disease. And some of the common undercurrents then for all of these are going to be the inflammation. So one of the particular possibilities with Alzheimer's disease is that it is caused, or is it related to inflammation, particularly to chronic inflammation. So this IL-33 protein in an injection form, some researchers believe that it might be possible to, quote, rescue memory deficits and reduce amyloid plaques. Now, in another video, I deal with some of the possible causes of Alzheimer's disease. I'll put a link in the description. But one of the possible causes of Alzheimer's disease is the accumulation of various protein deposits in the brain, and these are called plaques and tangles. Now, there are different proteins associated with that. The plaques are often associated with this beta-amyloid, and then there's another protein referred to as tau that is often bound up with these neurofibrillary tangles. But one of the possible benefits of this interleukin-33, this IL-33 protein, is that it has the potential to reduce inflammation and possibly break up or inhibit the formation of some of these amyloid plaques. Another phrase that was in the literature was that IL-33 possibly ameliorates Alzheimer's disease-like pathologies and basically counteracts various aspects of cognitive decline. And that was according to the proceedings of the National Academy of the Sciences in the United States, and that was dated April of 2016. So once again, this is within the last few years. This IL-33 protein injection has started to be on the radar of some of these researchers who believe that it might help to ameliorate Alzheimer's disease, that it might reduce inflammation, that it might break up or inhibit these plaques and tangles. Some researchers have even gone so far as to say that this IL-33 protein injection actually, quote, reverses Alzheimer's-like symptoms in mice. Now, one phrase from this research that you should be mindful of is this Alzheimer's-like symptoms. Of course, Alzheimer's, as we know it, affects human beings, and we can recognize its effects in virtue of a diminishment of cognitive capacity on a human level. So we know it from the reasoning, cognition, perception of individuals gets diminished. So it's very difficult in virtue of trying to look at mice who do not have human-like cognition from the start to say that the same injection of protein in a human being is going to be able to reverse Alzheimer's disease in a human being. To say that they see some improvement in a mouse is one thing, but to see it in a human being is quite a different thing. But again, one of the main themes of this, besides the amyloid plaques, is the inflammation. And once again, in the video and in the presentation that I do on possible causes of Alzheimer's disease, inflammation is looming more and more, is looming larger and larger in some of the researchers' hypotheses regarding what Alzheimer's disease might be all about. I would invite you to click on that video for more information. So I know this was somewhat arcane. There are going to be a few videos that I'll do that get into certain things along the lines of this. I want to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what the cutting edge of Alzheimer's research is. But in the main, Alzheimer's Proof, again, is a project that is geared towards practical advice, practical ways in which you can modify your home environment or change your lifestyle or add to your diet, supplements and the like of this that are going to help you, one, care for a relative who has Alzheimer's disease, or two, avoid Alzheimer's disease yourself. If you know my story, my dad passed of Alzheimer's in 2016. My grandma on my mom's side just passed. She had Alzheimer's disease, and so it's on both sides of my family, so I have an absolute acute interest in trying to Alzheimer's proof my own diet. If you found something of use in this video, please like it, please subscribe to the channel, please click the notification bell to be alerted to additional content as it becomes available. I thank you so much for being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video. Thanks so much.